I stopped thinking about my business and stopped making money and concentrated on my social objectives way too much. I'm a chef. I was very lucky to be doing what I love to do, which is cooking for people, making people happy through food. And I chose the direction to cook for people that are fairly affluent and very well supported in life, and they became customers. And of course we all know that customers means that you make good money. So being in a position where I made some good money, I felt very lucky. And one day when the tsunami happened in 2004, I was watching the news and seeing people of high vulnerability. So I decided to take some time away and go and start a relief camp in Sri Lanka, which is what I did, 3 days after the tsunami. And it was on the return from that journey and that experience where I worked out that I needed to do something more with my skills as a chef than just cook for nice, happy and wealthy people. I took 6 months out and worked out that I needed to find a group of people that needed or could profit from my skill base and my passion for cooking, and I chose homelessness. Homelessness is something that I understand why it happens but not why it continues, and actually as I got to know it a little bit more, I found that quite a deep frustration that people not only became homeless but stayed homeless, and I've focused that for the last 8 years of my life and my business. The steps I've taken have been long and arduous, sometimes really fulfilling, and very often almost took me to bankruptcy because of my passion and my beliefs. So I started the business in my garage. From my garage I went to an old chicken farm which I refurbished to become a kitchen, a private dining room and cookery school. Then I moved into Soho in London and took an old homeless hostel which had been disused, and I refurbished it and employed some of the people that had lived there and taught them how to cook. From there I went to the City of London and took a small restaurant, a pop-up restaurant for 18 months, and again employed people that had experienced homelessness and started to train them as chefs. Whilst I did this, I stopped thinking about my business and stopped making money and concentrated on my social objectives way too much. After a short time of really kind of running out of cash, I decided it would be a great idea to go on to Dragon's Den and go for some money. What I actually did was went on to national television and bared my soul and concentrated on my social objectives too much. All of the dragons loved me, they loved what I did, they loved the fact that I brought on a beneficiary and he cooked fresh bread for them. What they didn't want to do is invest in a social enterprise. They wanted to give us money, but they didn't want to keep the profit for themselves, which is against what the show is all about. So I walked away with no investment, but I walked away with 5 new customers, and I started to understand the power of the story behind the business. What I needed to do is separate the business from my social objectives and have some clear communications for each to stand on their own. From there I decided that I should find partners that could work with me and that had better expertise in certain areas, whether that be in the business or what was to become a charity. And so I relaunched myself as a social entrepreneur, somebody with some real ideals but also with a core skill of cooking, and found 3 new partners. The first one was the government, the CLG Department of Local Government and Local Communities, and homelessness is their responsibility. So I went straight to them and said that I want to do something for homeless people, which is very different. I then went to PricewaterhouseCoopers, which is an accountancy firm, and just so happened there was a derelict fire station in front of their head office that I rather liked, and approached them and sort of said that I would like them to think about social enterprise in a different way and a possible partnership with the building in front of them. And then the third partner was a hospitality company called Thiel, and we wanted them to somehow partner up and help us manage the restaurant that we were to open. The 3 partners all worked together, along with big investors, some small finance to help us with the finance of the restaurant. And together we have created Brigade, which is a social enterprise restaurant. It is a training provider for the charity, the Beyond Food Foundation, and the charity's responsibility is to inspire, educate and train people back into employment. That's my story. It's been quite a tough story because it's been financially very worrying as you start to grow the idea, and once I started to bring people together that understood what my vision was and wanted to support that in lots of different ways, it became easier. We're now in 2014, 10 years on, and we've got a good profitable business that is working with many people that are vulnerable. 530 in the last 3 years at Brigade, and we have employed 69 people on an apprenticeship, and we're starting to see and work out where we want to take the business and the charity going forward, and that's my story.